Hey friends, Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Sitting here thinking about the game last night. You know, Aaron Rodgers, who's been playing on one leg most of the season and stuff, and the Green Bay Packers. One of the things I hear from a lot of people in here is that Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys couldn't make a run if they wanted to because they can't keep up with the Green Bays or the Rams and the things like that, points wise. But here's the thing. I want you to think about the game last night, Seattle. If your defense, because here's the things that you have for an advantage for the Dallas Cowboys right now. Going into playoffs, and I'm not saying that we're going to make playoffs. We're not in a position to even think about playoffs. Hypothetically is what we're talking here. But here's the thing. When you start talking about playoffs in cold weather and late in the season, you have a lot of teams that have injuries and things like that. A lot of times you're playing outdoors in cold weather and stuff. And generally speaking, two ingredients that you really need during playoffs are a defense and a running game. Clearly, we have a defense. We got a defense that's holding people down. And we definitely have a running game. And I know our offense has not been scoring a lot of points, although they're beginning to get up there a bit. But when you think about the Green Bay Packers and how Aaron Rodgers can score points almost at will, you look at what Seattle's defense was able to do to him last night. And it ended up not being a shootout. Russell Wilson only had 225 yards passing, but they had 171 yards in rushing. They ground and pound. They slowed the pace of the game down. They kept Aaron Rodgers, to a minimum with that defense, and they ended up winning the game. And that's not a bad formula. And if you look at our team, almost all of our losses have been games that we ended up screwing up, not getting points where we should, or a turnover, or not capitalizing in the red zone. We correct a couple of these little things. You're going to see more points without major changes. And you've got a defense that's keeping games close. Nobody scored a whole lot of points against us, with the exception of, I think Seattle scored 25 or 26. That's the highest point total that's been given up all season. So we get that offense. Now we've got Amari Cooper in there, and you've got that defense, and you start using Zeke, Elliott more. I still do not understand the Titans game where we didn't run them the last 20 minutes of the game. That's how you win with this kind of an offense. You've got to go ahead and pound teams into submission. You've got to come at them with that defense and shut them down. And when you pass, you've got to be efficient. So those who say that that's not built to keep up with other teams, it's antiquated. I'll give you that. It's not the modern offense right now. But you got to throw. Oh, a little close here. Sorry. Let me go back. There you go. Sorry. A little bit close here for this gentleman to get in. But you've got a throwback for a defense that will keep you in most games. And if we just do a couple of little things, just a couple of little things a little bit better, we're going to be okay. Now, I don't know if we can make the playoffs or not. That game last night hurt us because Seattle's one of those teams that we're chasing. So this guy gets out. I've got a cart in front of me, so I can't pull all the way up. Okay. Bad thing about having a big truck is they discriminate against you now in most places because all the parking spaces are tiny. And when you've got an F-250 crew cab, half of your ass sits out in the street and the spaces aren't wide enough for it to really go in. There we go. All right, guys. That's all I have to say about that. Anything is possible. We've seen the Baltimore Ravens do it a couple of times with a great defense and a limited offense. We've seen the Giants do that a couple of times too. So I won't say that you can't, but we'll see.